Today, let's go through the 5 rules of calisthenics, especially for the over 40. Now, I've been teaching and training calisthenics since I was 37, so over the last 11 years. And I've achieved some cool stuff. I can do a one-arm handstand, handstand push up, press handstands, 360 pulls, muscle up variations, etc. And my goal now is to help other people achieve the same thing. So let's help you progress as fast as possible and go through these 5 rules. So number 1 is self-assessment. So we need to know where we are relevant to our goals, what our realistic training time and capacity is. So that could be both what our body can handle, but also what time constraints we have for our regular training practice. Now we need to be constantly assessing both our training ability and also our body's ability to recover from the training stimulus and just in general how our body is feeling. So to pick the correct program, to pick the correct progressions towards our goals, we need to know exactly where we are. We can then put that into some sort of training plan that fits in with our realistic training time and capacity to train. And then we need to monitor that plus what our body can handle on a weekly or a daily basis. Number 2, we need to prioritize mobility. So most of us, when we get over 40 especially, are going to be lacking ranges. Or if we do have ranges, then likely to be empty ranges. So we might have great flexibility in a certain position, but we can't control our body over that range of motion. So we have good flexibility, but we have poor mobility. And it's key that we work on those things to create efficiency in our movements. So if we look at something as simplistic as a handstand, and we can't put our hands over our head without compensating throughout the body, just holding there for any amount of time is going to be really challenging physically, let alone adding something like a press handstand, handstand push up, or a planche on top. Number 3, we need to focus on the foundations first, or at least assess that we can do them all. So that needs to be things like push-ups, rows, dips, chin-ups, pull-ups. Understand and be able to control our movement terminology. So things like scapular, protraction, retraction, elevation and depression. Pelvic positions, moving between anterior and posterior. Have some spinal articulation, be able to hang both passively and active, that's the elevation depression, and build the mobility and condition to hold a nice resting squat. Number 4, you need to pick your goals and journey. In my opinion, if you find a coach that tells you the goals that you should be aiming for, you need to find a new coach. You need to be passionate and excited about your journey, heading towards the goals that you want to achieve. That could even be down to the style of training that you prefer. So you might prefer to use gymnastic rings as opposed to a bar. You might be a big fan of pulling movements and not pushing movements. So you really need to find out what you enjoy, what you're passionate about, and that is going to keep you consistent in your training. Number 5, with simplicity and consistency is key. So we want the least amount of exercises repeated consistently enough to achieve your goals. So one of the biggest mistakes you see with this style of training is that we'll see something cool on Instagram, on TikTok or on morning TV, and we think we should change everything because that is the secret magic sauce that needs to be added to your training, and you stop your normal training to do that thing. But there's a reason that everyone who's getting good results are following the same simplistic training methods, same exercises. If they want to do a tuck planche, they just do thousands of repetitions of tuck planches. If you want to do a freestand and handstands, you just need to practice loads of overbalance and underbalance drills. And anything else is additions that is good to play with and good accessory work, but it's the main meat that needs to be done over and over and over again. So that's my top 5. Let me know your comments down below. Let me know what you think. If you're after help with your training, check out my app and my website. Links are down in the description. Check out this next video, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Thanks, guys.